morning, Glue Troopers. I hope this morning is finding you well. I was slipping through the classified ads of my latest fine scale modeler, and I noticed this, which I had never noticed before. We have Dean's Hobby Stop in Owasso, Michigan, and right next to it, Top Shelf Models in Owasso, Oklahoma. And I looked both these places up, and yep, they're real. And that was just one of those things that you couldn't make that up if you tried. What are the odds not only of such similar names, but they're right next to each other in the advertisements. And it's listed by state, not by city. So just one of those cute little things I thought was something. Well, we had a little bit of interesting stuff happen in the Tarbis last night. Well, first off, I got started on those Revell 1 to 144 kits of the military vehicles from World War II. And I'm going to be using those in my Haruo Nakajima diorama when I get that done, because they scale out right with the Polar Lights Godzilla. Although I should point out that the tank that comes with that Godzilla kit, although a fine little model tank, it's really about, I think, a 1 to 97 scale. It's a little off scale. And it's a Japanese Type 61. In the original movie, they were using Chaffies, and they had Shermans back then. So I think the truck and the armored car and the Sherman will be a little more scale and equipment appropriate. Not to be that guy, but it's a Godzilla movie. But anyway, the kits are pretty cool. The Sherman is a 6-piece kit that goes together without any argument. In fact, they all went together without any argument. And the truck was probably the hardest one of them to build, because you had to build up the sides on it. But I've got to be honest, all the parts fit fine. They really didn't give me an argument. None of them are hard to build. The little armored car is pretty cool too. And the turret on the armored car is fixed, but the turret on the Sherman can rotate. And while I was working on it, I reached up on the shelf or something and bumped my little version of the Mark 8 Panzer. And I think, hey, that looks pretty cool. The world's fastest and cheapest kit bash. Put it against the Shermans. Flank him, boys, flank him. Anyway, great little Revell kits. I painted them Japanese Self-Defense Force olive drab, which is appropriate, and that way they'll go really well with the Godzilla, or I should say the Haruo Nakajima lower half Godzilla diorama. There were also pieces of equipment on the sprues that are not in any way associated with the vehicles. It looked like guns and gun mounts and possibly some life rafts. So I don't really know what the story is behind that. Maybe one of you guys could tell us what the deal is there. But you've got the gun panels and the 20mm Oerlikons and the mounts and rafts. So apparently it was for something Navy. Oh, one other thing. Somebody had asked me about the Tarbis during hurricanes. It has these lockdown anchors. They're called hurricane anchors, and it has 4 of them, and they go deep into the ground, so it's not going anywhere. Well, I dragged out the Aurora CF-105 to get started on it, and I had primed it, and when I hit it with the paint, the weirdest thing happened. By the way, I used that paint check that was sent to me to see if it could handle a can of spray paint, and it can, actually, surprisingly well. After I used Tamiya primer, I hit it with the Tamiya lacquer, and it started bubbling up, so I wound up having to strip the entire model. I'm going to tell you right now, that was quite an undertaking. What was supposed to be a quick repaint and reshoot has turned into an affair. But after a while, I just got tired of trying to deal with the I don't know what caused it to react, because it was Tamiya lacquer over a Tamiya surfacer, but go figure. Maybe it was something that was already there. I don't know. I'm still scratching my head over that one. But I decided to just go ahead and pull out the big guns and go old school on it. So we'll see how it turns out. Well, guys, take care of yourselves. And as always, model on. Hobby World. And the cat's calling.